What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's Matty B, and I'm back with another edition of This Week in Supercross, where we go over a few hot topics in the sport and then preview the track as well as throw out some predictions. And this week, we're going to talk about Eli Tomac being out at Star Yamaha, Chase Sexton versus Cooper Webb versus the finger gun, and why I think that may have been a bad tactical move on the part of Chase Sexton. And then, of course, we're going to preview and break down the track for round 14 in East Rutherford, New Jersey this weekend, along with a weather update. We're in the northeast swing, so you never know what we're going to get up there. But before we get into everything today, I got to give a huge thank you to the people that help keep this channel going. Huge thank you to quickmoto.com and SiriusStudio.co. I have both my discount codes on screen. And also, you can enter for a chance to win my YZ250, my 2022 Pro National race bike, for just $100. All the info you need is right here. And lastly, I got a new partnership with my boy AJ, who is a crypto legend, and he's doing a Tesla Model 3 giveaway. So a cool opportunity to win a car, and the dude just did interviews with Joe Exotic and Dana White. So I don't know what he's doing reaching out to me, but I really appreciate it. Check him out on YouTube, Instagram, and X at AJ Writes Crypto. And you can use this QR code to go directly to entering the giveaway. Hope y'all enjoy the video. First off, we're going to talk Eli Tomac and his situation with trying to re-sign with Star Yamaha, and how awesome is it that Eli is even still around. I feel like we all thought he was going to be out of the sport a couple of years ago, but crazily enough, that Achilles injury appears to have extended the career, which I think is a surprise to everybody, maybe even to Eli himself, but especially to the team Star Yamaha. They definitely didn't expect him to still be around in 2025 and looking for deals for 2026 and maybe even 2027, but Eli says he's still having fun, he still believes he can win, so he's still all in without choice, which is so rad on pretty much every level, except for the fact that Star Yamaha has already been making some moves to secure their future while thinking that Eli was going to be done by now. And I'm not saying any of this stuff is set in stone, I'm just saying this is what I'm hearing that is going down right now, and I do have a source on this. I'm never going to come on here and just make stuff up. I promise this is coming from somewhere, but apparently the talks between Tomac and Star Yamaha are not going well in regards to him re-signing, and that is due to a few different reasons. Number one is Cooper Webb, you know, the guy with the red plate leading the points right now. Star signed Webb a couple years back to race alongside Tomac with the thought that he would take over the reins as the A guy once Tomac retired, which they thought was impending in the very near future. So it's been reported that Cooper Webb had a pretty big pay raise into his contract for whenever Eli Tomac vacated the team. So Webb's locked and loaded, signed, sealed, and delivered with that deal, and Tomac is not, because we thought he would be on the couch by now. So that's a big chunk out of the Star Yamaha budget right there, and Tomac's one of the elite guys, so he demands a hefty price tag. And speaking of dents in the Star Yamaha budget, reason number two is Hayden Deegan. Like I said, Star is trying to worry about the future rather than the present, and Hayden Deegan is surely the future. And rumor has it the deal for Hayden Deegan to go to the 450s with Star Yamaha is already done, so that's another spot and a lot more budget taken up that can't just be pulled out of thin air for Eli Tomac. And this has got to be such a tough choice for the team. Like, do you take somebody that can win now, or do you bet on the future and somebody like Hayden Deegan? And with all the fans, media, and attention that surrounds the Deegans, I'm sure it'll be hard to give that up, but the only reason that this is even a conversation is it's Eli freaking Tomac. This guy is such a legend. He could win a championship next year if he stays healthy. I really feel like he looked better than ever at the beginning of this year before he went out with injury, but if he does do it, I don't think it'll be with the Star Yamaha team. And the third reason for that is Justin Cooper. And this is another case of Star trying to pick between the present and the future. And Justin Cooper's been coming on strong this year. He is surely going to be good in years to come. And the way he's been riding, he could even be our next race winner here in 2025. So it would surely be a good investment into the future. But the only problem with that investment into the future is you give up an investment into the present. And again, guys, don't take all of this as gospel. This is just what I'm being told. It's not set in stone, but it's looking like the lineup for Star Racing Yamaha next year is going to include Cooper Webb, Justin Cooper, Hayden Deegan, Christian Craig, and not Eli Tomac, which is absolutely bonkers. So what the heck is this legend going to do next year? Now that I don't know for sure. Of course, there's been some Ducati talk, maybe even a little bit of Triumph, but from what I've heard, he's talking to everybody and anybody, and he's even in talks with some teams that you definitely wouldn't expect. So this is one of the pieces of the silly season puzzle that I'm watching most closely. So stay tuned to this. Maybe Eli Tomac will end up somewhere we never would have imagined. So if I'm Star Yamaha, I'm finding a way to keep this legend. I don't know what they'd have to do to make that happen, but the dude is better than ever, has more fans than ever, and imagine this dude with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove after not being re-signed by his old team. That could be an Eli Tomac that is dangerous for everybody. Next up, we're going to touch on Chase Sexton stealing Cooper Webb's move and firing off the finger gun at him post-main event win in Philadelphia. And guys, I can't even describe to you how bold of a move I think this was. Cooper Webb always has an extra set of reading glasses laying around to look for that chip on his shoulder. It's what he uses to motivate himself, and Sexton just gave it to him on a silver platter. So maybe this is a good sign for Chase down the stretch. Maybe he's really just feeling that good that he's not worried about getting a little cocky and using Cooper Webb's finger gun on Cooper Webb. But Cooper Webb feeds off this kind of stuff. This is all the motivation he needs, as if he didn't have enough before the pew-pew of the finger gun. And I can't stress enough to you guys how much Coop really does thrive off of playing games and messing with people. My dad and I used to travel with Cooper and his dad to amateur nationals and races back when we were kids, and I literally have vivid memories of Cooper messing with me like he does these guys back when we were about 6 years old. So I don't think it's a good idea to start playing Cooper Webb's game with Cooper Webb. I mean, if you're swimming in shark-infested waters in the ocean, you definitely don't cut yourself and start bleeding and tell the sharks to come and get me. But that's what Chase Sexton's done, so I'm really excited to see how everything shapes up this weekend in Jersey and to see if Cooper Webb has any rebuttal for Chase Sexton firing off finger gun rounds. And whatever it is, I'm excited for it. There is no love lost here, and this one's going to be good all the way down to the finale. And now into the final part of our video today, the track preview for East Rutherford this weekend, along with the weather update and some predictions. And I am really liking the looks of this one at first glance. We got 2 whoop sections back to back, which we've only had, I think, one other time this whole year. We've got some really good rhythm sections that look like they're going to offer some different combos. We've got a step on, step off, which is always technical. And all in all, I think this one is a banger. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got the start, and this one's a pretty short one this week. Only about a half stadium length straightaway into a sweeping left-hand corner. This first rhythm section off the start, I think it's just going to be a basic little tabletop in, and then maybe a 3-1 or a 2-2 into the corner. It'll be a little bit different on the regular laps, but we'll get around to that when we finish the rest of the lap. Then we've got a 180 bull turn to the right. Then we've got our longest rhythm section on the track. I see 2 distinct lines that I think are going to be possible here. You can 3 out of the corner, triple again, triple once more, and then double out, or you can double out of the corner, triple again, and then triple out into the corner. And it'll be a massive time saver and very crucial to get that triple out of the corner, because the third jump in this rhythm section is a 5-footer rather than a 3-footer. So if you're not able to get over that triple in out of the corner, you're going to have to jump off the 5-footer and go way up in the air into the stratosphere, out of the long rhythm into a 90-degree corner to the right into what looks to be a couple of single file national lanes. And I think it's going to be really key to jump out of this rhythm section and stay hugging to the inside and then triple out of the corner from the inside rather than going all the way out to the berm just to yank the basic triple. But not much to separate through here. Supercross triple into another 180-degree corner to the right, and then a 4-jump rhythm section. I'm thinking probably a triple single, maybe a double if it's built weird, but I have a hard time seeing them not romp the triple out of the corner. Then into a 180 to the left, and I like what we got here. I wouldn't as a racer, but as a fan, I love it because it's going to be technical and cause mistakes. We got a step on, step off. And last time we saw this in Indianapolis last year, it was brutal, super hard for everybody to make it clean every lap. So we could see races won and lost in this section. If you survive the on, off, then you got a 90 to the right into the finish line. Style check for the fans. Then when you land, you got this little single inside option into this corner. It doesn't look like there's much of a berm out there, so hopefully they'll revise that and build a nice little bowl out there so people can either go inside over the single and go defensive, or go outside and use the berm to go slingshot mode, maybe an outside in as you go back onto the start straight, which would be the perfect place to pull alongside and try to make a pass into the next 180-degree bowl corner. But back onto the start straight into this 180 bull turn. It's not really a typical tight 180. It's a little bit wider, and then we got 2 sets of whoops. I'm sure there's only going to be 9 of them, but either way, 9 plus 9 is 18, so I'll take it. 2 back-to-back sets, and I really feel like this is going to be a huge factor in this weekend's action, just like it was at Anaheim 2 earlier this year when they had a very similar setup. But whoops, bull turn, more whoops, back across the start straight into one final 180 to the left, and then coming out of this corner, this ties into that first rhythm section on the start. It looks like the inside's a little bit lower than the outside, so maybe they're looking for 2 option lines here, maybe inside, roll over the low side, and then table over single, triple out, or maybe if the high side's big enough, rail the berm and step on, step off, and then triple out. But that's a lap for round 14 in East Rutherford, which will be going down this weekend. I can't wait for it, but the question still lies, will we have yet another mutter in the Northeast? Let's consult goodoldweather.com. Now, going to the Northeast in open-air stadiums at this time of year was for sure a risk. I think everybody knew that. but I think we're going to get lucky on this one. The forecast looks good. It might be cloudy, but it's going to be 77, not a drop of rain in the contract, so it'll be perfect for racing. Now let's get into my predictions for what I think is going to go down this weekend. Starting with the 250 East, for the win, I'm going Seth Hammaker. If you've been paying attention on this channel, I think y'all know by now my obvious bias for him, but think about it. The dude is 3 incidents that aren't his fault away from having absolutely taken off with this championship. The food poisoning, the RJ carpet bomb in the mud, and then the red flag last weekend. So really, I think he's been the best guy, and I think he's going to be the best guy this weekend and get the win. Then in second, I think he's going to be the second best guy in the series, RJ Hampshire. I think Seth and RJ are going to break away from who I have in third place, Tom Vial, and fight for this championship. And then in third, I've got Vial. I kind of think he squandered his opportunity to really take off with this one, with his issues in the mud and last weekend. No part of me at any point of the series has thought he was the best guy. I just thought he could kill him with consistency. But he's proven me wrong over the last couple of weeks, and I think he's the third best guy right now. So I've got Vial rounding out the podium. And then in the 450s, for the win, I've got Cooper Webb. I don't have much rationale for y'all, except for that I just think the dude's going to find a way like he always does whenever he's got that chip on his shoulder. I don't even necessarily think the 2 whoop sections on this track are going to work in his favor, but like I said, the dude's going to find a way and he's going to get the win. Then I got Chase Sexton in the 2 spot. I don't think he's going to let Coop have it easy. I think this is going to be one of those classic mental battles that goes all the way down to the wire, so I think it's going to be a really good race, but I've got Webb for the win, Sexton second, and then the Cowboy AP third. Not sure if you've heard on the broadcast, but he is indeed the Cowboy. But he's been on a good streak for the last few rounds, besides the first turn incident last weekend. So I've got AP on the box. But enough about what I think. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you like my predictions, if you think I'm shot, if you want to throw shade, whatever you want to do, you know we're here for it. But I appreciate y'all tuning in this week. Catch y'all next time.